What's up, guys? Alright, so I wasn't gonna do this. And I was like, whatever. I guess I'll try this. I'm gonna do the prediction for Ben Askren and Jake Paul. So, yeah, this fight's kind of a joke, but I do trust Ben Askren. I mean, he's the only serious one here with a true MMA background. I went back and I watched some of the tape on him, and I mean, yeah, his striking's terrible, but he can take a punch. Like, he's got an iron chin. So I think that's going to play a big role here. And I can't believe he's an underdog. Like, I just don't see Jake Paul knocking him out. I don't see it. Basically, Jake Paul's only knocked out kind of bums. Like, no one's serious yet. This should be his first real challenge. And the only reason I'm even giving him 20% is because of the brutal knockouts he's got, other than Ben Askren. But I basically see this being like, I don't know, kind of like Ben Askren versus Maya, how that was a really sloppy stand up. I just see Ben wearing on him over the fight. Like, Jake Paul's going to come out strong, probably land a couple good shots, might even drop Ben Askren. But overall, he's just going to wear on him, probably clinch a lot and just gas him out. Jake Paul's never really had a true, like, the mentality of going the full fight, so he should gas out his arm. The lactic acid should build up, and he's basically just going to be hanging on for dear life by the end of it. But other than that, the press conference, Ben Askren, he didn't even have to do much. Like, Jake was just embarrassing himself, like telling him he has no family or no friends. Like, he has a wife and kids. And then the Masvidal phone call. I mean, how can Masvidal actually betray us like that? Why would I just don't understand. Like, Masvidal's a savage. Why is he training with Jake Paul? I just don't see it. But yeah, I don't see Ben Askren getting a knockout either. Like, I just see him going the full 8 and really just wearing on Jake. Then, what else happened at the press conference? Oh yeah, did I mention the weak ass body shot? That was terrible. And then Jake Paul's face, it got just so red during the press conference. You could tell he's getting really irritated. And then, like, the noises he made sound like a fifth grader. Ben Askren didn't even really show up to the press conference like all dressed nicely. I mean, he came in sandals. Like, he was chilling. He wasn't even like affected. I mean, when Jake Paul shoved him, his sandals didn't even come off. Like, he was just it was nothing. It was just weak. Um I just think Jake Paul is Ben Askren got on Jake Paul's head, and I think it's going to pay dividends. I mean, even in the Masvidal fight, I mean, Ben Askren was still just irritating Masvidal. It just backfired. I just don't see it happening here. Jake Paul was saying that Ben Askren punches like a grandma, and a grandma could last longer in a fight. I also don't see that. I mean, yeah, it looks like grandma punches, but he'll still bloody up Jake Paul. I will put money on it right now that he gives Jake Paul a bloody nose over the 8 rounds. And betting wise, yeah, Ben Askren's a huge underdog, and I just don't get that. I'd go take your money and I'd go bet it on Ben Askren, like $100, because I have nowhere to go do it. But I'm saying if I did, I would go put like $100 in Ben Askren. And if any of you guys are watching the fight, let me know below. Like, what's the website to go watch it? Because I mean, I watch UFC, but I haven't actually like figured out how I'm gonna watch the fight and the cost of it yet. I think it was like $49 when I looked. But yeah. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. Now we'll go into like Jake Paul. His striking looks good for like the level of competition he's facing or the level he's at. It looks really good. But it's nothing like he's just never been a real fight. Like, if you threw Jake Paul in the street against Ben Askren, like you said, it'd be a homicide. Like, he just doesn't have that fighting willpower. And we haven't seen Jake Paul's gas tank, which could be a huge problem. I mean, Jake Paul could have a gas tank like kind of like Conor McGregor, super explosive, and it just dies off. I'd put money on it. He's not like Nate Diaz. No Nate Diaz stamina. He's probably just like his brother, a little bit better stamina, but he'll gas out. Just look at the punches Ben Askren got hit by from Robbie Lawler. He ate all Maya's punches like they were nothing. And even in his old fights, if you go back and watch his old fights, like he can take a hit. And the way he was fighting in his fights is he tries to take you down. Like he has the full potential to show his striking in this fight and work on it. Like before, it was just to set up the takedown. He wasn't even really focused on his striking. And now he's going to be like 100% focused on his striking and not his takedowns. So I think his striking should be a bit better. Ben Askren also started wrestling in 6th grade, so he's had all that time to build up his mentality and stamina and just the fighter in him. Then he obviously won the NCAA and a lot of wrestling championship stuff. I mean, he's so good at wrestling. He went up against Jordan Burroughs. Obviously, it didn't go his way, but just that mentality is going to play a big role in this fight, I think. But that's why I'm giving Ben Askren 80%. It's just his grit, the punches he can take, and the stamina. Jake Paul is 20%. It's just a lucky knockout. But other than that, a lot of people don't know Ben Askren beat Chris Weidman in 2001. Just a little fun fact. Ben Askren also likes playing disc golf. I know it's a little bit off topic, but if you guys play disc golf, comment below. So yeah, to wrap up this video, I think Ben Askren is just going to grind on him, clinch up, use the grit, take the punches, and earn a decision win in the 8th round. And that 20% obviously is if Jake Paul gets a knockout. But I think he's going to gas out between rounds 3 and 4. It's just the tide's going to turn really bad for him. And let me know below if you guys be interested in like a Jake Paul versus Logan Paul in the future, because I think that fight might be actually interesting.